Shall we start on those FA Cup results, James? That was what a morning of, or what a weekend rather of action that was. Just running through the results. We have first. Well, shall we do it chronologically, or that means we can get Wolves out of the way first?
Do we have to?
I think we do have to. This is what you've signed up for, James. So it was Wolves 2, Coventry 3. What a game at Molineux. James, you watched the whole game. I was away at the rugby, but I watched plenty of the highlights. So, what do you make of the game?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it was a deserved win for Coventry. They were the better side for most of the game. They had a lot of chances. Jose Sarr kept us in it. To be fair, Coventry had I think it was Ellis Sims had an amazing chance, literally tap it. There was suggestions of a hand in there. I think it probably was a handball, but it was disallowed because they didn't get a good view on the VAR. So Wolves did get unlucky there, you could say, but it wasn't deserved.
Yeah, well, you've been quite unlucky with your VAR decisions this year. But I think that game you can have really no doubts and really no complaints, because Coventry were absolutely fantastic in that game, honestly. Just the barrage of opportunities, chances. Ali McCoist was going mad on Coventry,
as he always does,
and just what a result for them. And they're really moving up that. Well, they're in the dogfight for the playoffs in the Championship, and now they're in the FA Cup semi-finals. What a time for them. In terms of Wolves, though, what do you make of the sort of? How does this leave you in the season? Is this put you out of?
I think it leaves us in a position where we've really got much to play for. Like, we've still got Europe, but with the amount of injuries we've got, with Neto out, Kuna out, Hwang out, Bellegarde out, loads of injuries, I don't think we're going to make it. So the FA Cup really was our last kind of thing keeping us going for the rest of the season. I think we'd be happy with like a top 10 finish now. We'll say in the game, Ait-Nouri was very, very good. He got us back into the game. He scored
that goal.
He scored the equaliser, and then he perfectly made the goal that put us ahead, that thought we were going to win the game. 2-1 up in the 95th minute, we're 2-1 up. You think, no matter what squad, no matter how the game's gone, you've got to see that against Coventry. But Coventry, 2 minutes, 2 goals, they just won it, and you can't say they didn't deserve it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, well, I think Ellis Sims was an absolute handful up front for those guys, and Mark Robin's side's really, that's their first, they've become the first team outside the top flight to win. I have dreams of becoming the first side outside the top flight to win the FA Cup since 1980. So, I mean, do you think they can do it, or do you think it's a wee bit too far-fetched?
They've got Man United, who we'll talk about in a minute. I think it would be a step too far, but you never know, do you?
You never know. You
can always dream.
Yeah. Well, they got very close. Obviously, they played at Wembley last year in that that's playoff final against Luton Town. They lost out in penalties in that one, and they seem to have took that sort of hurt and turned it into positive energy and positive momentum this season. So hats off to Coventry. That moves us on to probably the lesser talked about game of the weekend, which was Manchester City versus Newcastle. Pretty comprehensive win for Man City. Did you watch any of the game?
I didn't watch any of that game, no, but kind of
the highlights.
As expected, I think. Man City just got through, didn't they?
I watched the highlights of that game, and it was a typical Manchester City performance, and they really made Newcastle look like a lower league side, or not even lower league side, but a lower Premier League side, and just a really easy sort of comprehensive win for them.
Bernardo Silva,
a double for him. They march on. They've still got hopes, designs on a treble. Do you think they can do that this season, or what's their aspirations?
I mean, I don't think they can do it, but I don't want to doubt them. I mean, they've got that. That's the thing with City. They've got that squad depth. Like Bernardo Silva, you think, oh, Foden's the guy at the moment, or Grealish is the guy at the moment, or Doku, and then Bernardo Silva will come back in. He'll score 2 goals, or he'll be a key player. They've just got so many players that can come in and out and turn up for them at key points. So it's really hard to doubt them.
It is really hard to doubt them, and they were superb in that game, and that's their. I don't know how many that they obviously beat us in the FA Cup final last year, so we could say a Manchester Derby FA Cup final game, which I would not be opposed to, because I really want to get one back on those boys. But yeah, that was a huge win for them. Newcastle again, you know,
leaves them in a similar position to Wolves, I think.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
not
it?
Not much to play for. Maybe Europe, but
Europe. I think they've got designs on Europe. I think if they got European places, whether that be the Conference League or the Europa League or whatever, I think that would be huge for them in their season. But I think it's just disappointing again going another season without a trophy.
Yeah.
I think that's the next stepping stone, and that's something that Eddie Howe, I think, has to deliver, whether that be this year or next year or whenever. Well, obviously it's not going to be this year.
We talked about it last week, didn't we? What does Eddie Howe need to do? I mean, kind of disappointed Newcastle fans now they're out of the cup. Quite much to play for. They're looking more to next season now, I guess, and then next year's transfer window, see what they can do. That oil money.
That oil money, No, but they have to be careful actually, and we should talk about that in terms of the FFP. But we can talk about that later. But in terms of like spending their money within their means, you know, the profit and sustainability rules, which a couple of clubs have breached now, whether that be Everton, Forest, Man City have had some problems with it, with the famous 115 charges. As a Man United fan, I'll try not to be too biased on that one. But I think they should be relegated to non-league. But anyway, moving on. There's Chelsea. Chelsea played Leicester and the early kick-off on Sunday. 4-2 win for Chelsea. They took the early lead in that game, but they seemed to have an absolute disaster in that second half. It really looked like Leicester were going to, eventually take a win. But I think that Disasi own goal. Did you see it?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh my days! He's 40 meters out from goal, and he attempts to pass it back to Chelsea's goalkeeper and Sanchez, and he just completely messes up where his surroundings.
What, Sanchez or?
No, I think the goalkeeper was out of position and he shouldn't have,
I suppose it kind of sums up Chelsea's season, not quite gelling together.
Just not quite, the chemistry's not quite there. But I think when you have a lot of young players and a lot of new players in, then that's going to be a problem. And Leicester really came back into that game, but obviously the red card in 73 minutes sort of dented their hopes, after getting back into that game. And then Chelsea just eventually took the win in with Chukwuemeka and Madueke scoring goals and taking them through the semi-final. In terms of Chelsea's season, Cole Palmer has been absolutely fantastic. He's been absolutely fantastic, and we'll talk more about him later in terms of the England squad, because I think he's put himself into a position where he's nearly a shoe-in. Even in that position where he is like competing with Rashford, Saka, Foden, all really great talents. I think he himself has been in a struggling Chelsea side. He has been one of their main shining lights. I think
he's been the one that's really stood out. Like even when they've struggled, like I know a lot of people saying, he's got quite a few goals from penalties, but if you actually watch him, he is. You can tell he's been their best player this season.
He's a player, and it's crazy the way Man City have just sold him for 40 million to Chelsea, and now he's doing all this. It even speaks to how amazing Man City is that they can let go of a player like that and still thrive. I personally think he could have still done things for Man City, but
it's hard, isn't it? They got so many players. I mean, I think for his career, for his decision, he's made the right decision going to Chelsea, definitely,
because he's at a big club there, a club that does have a lot of talent that could rise again, struggling in the league. But I mean, they're potentially, if they can get past Man City, that's 2 cup finals for them this year. I don't think they're going to get European places. I think they're a wee bit off the pace in that sort of race. But in terms of the FA Cup, they lost out in the final to Liverpool, the billion pound bottle jobs, as Guy Neville put it. So eloquent. Man is one of the most articulate pundits out there at the game. But I think it's huge for them to try and get to that final and try and get a trophy this season, because otherwise the season you can't really justify it for Pochettino.
I mean, at least going into the run-in, they've got something to hope and pray towards.
Well, I really hope they make the finals, because I think that's an easier game for us than Man City.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've lost like something like was it 8 finals in a row or something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's been quite a few finals, maybe not as much as 8, maybe more closer to 4 or 6 or something like that. But they've lost many finals in a row. But no, that's a good result for them. Leicester are a good side. They're top of the Championship, or they're in and around that automatic.
Definitely made it harder than it needed to be, though.
Oh, absolutely, but that's what Chelsea do this season, I guess, and they managed to get the job done nonetheless. Which moves us on to my favourite game of the weekend. James, me and you watched this on watch the last knockings of the normal time and the first the extra time as well, and what a game this was. Manchester United 4, Liverpool 3. What did you make of the game, what you saw?
I think the circumstances in which we watched it made it even better, on a bus.
Yeah, so we were at the races, so we were down in Chepstow for the race day. So
I mean, obviously we only saw the extra time. I think Liverpool were, Man United started the game the better seed. Can't speak, but and then it was 2 quick goals, wasn't it, that Liverpool put in front, and then they seemed like they were going to see it out from there, but Anthony with the 87th minute equaliser to take extra time.
From what I've seen, I think United deserved to win the game, and I don't think Liverpool were really on it that day for whatever reason. And
they were just standing there. You thought even bad performance, they're gonna see us out like they've done this season. But
and with United, you don't really back them to come through against Liverpool, given the previous results. But I mean, what a performance from them! What an attacking performance!
I mean, that's got to be one of the best extra times I've watched in a while. Normally they're quite dead. They just see you through till penalties, but this one was full of life. Rip
roaring, as they say. So Harvey Elliott scored in just before half time, that extra time, and then Rashford got the leveller shortly after the restart, and then Diallo on the break at the end. The Old Trafford crowds sent into raptures. That was, unbelievable. And does that change United's season for you? Does that give them a bit of hope of potentially lifting a trophy?
Especially considering they've been drawn against Coventry. I know Wolves lost and anything can happen, but that gives them a real if they go into a semi-final and lose to Coventry, I think there's going to be questions as to Ten Hag again. But I mean, they've obviously got through here from Liverpool, but once you get to this point, if they don't make the final now, I mean, I think big questions asked. But if they can make another final and they get a chance of winning the trophy this season, could be a good season.
Absolutely.
They win a trophy.
I don't see them clawing back the gap with Aston Villa and Tottenham personally. I think those sides, despite not being Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal level, I think they do just have enough just to get over the line. I don't think United have the consistency of results of going on like a 10-game winning streak like Man City could.
I mean, they did start to do that a bit like the start of this year, and then it's kind of a few results
and it's tough because we've played both teams home and away, so we can't even get like a 6-pointer over them, so I think Europa League's probably realistic. Champions League maybe, if we can really put together the results, but I think that FA Cup's massive for us, really.
I mean, if we're talking season. Going back to the league, if you were to get top 4, it would take something crazy from Villa and Spurs, whereas I think Spurs are still in the race. It only takes Villa to drop off, but I think you guys are just about out of it. But like you say, if you can win a trophy, would you say it's a successful season?
I would say from where we were, and I think this is just the season. We've had new owners, new minority owners in Radcliffe, and him bringing in Sir David Brailsford and the like of that, and potentially Dan Ashford from Newcastle, which would be a huge coup. I think if we can just sort of take in what we can from this season, European football at the highest level that we can get at, whether that be Europa League or Champions League, just take that and take hopefully an FA Cup. I think Europa League without FA Cup, I don't think you can celebrate at all with that. But I think with the FA Cup with Europa League football, it's not ideal and it's disappointing, and then I probably should have done better. But with all the uproar this season and the different circumstances, I'm going to back the man until next season, try and get him over transfer window, bring some more players in, and go again next year with hopefully a better infrastructure and a better sort of team.
I think it can kind of go two ways. You can either push on, try and get back into that top 4 race. If you get even if you're not quite there, if you have a strong, solid end to the season, it could follow into the FA Cup as well. If you could win the FA Cup and then kind of get Europa League, but closer to Champions League, I think
absolutely
that'd be a very good end of the season. Ten Hag obviously would stay then, but it could either go the other way. You could lose to Coventry and then you could keep dropping the league, and then would you say Ten Hag needs to move on?
No, I think we just have to stick with the man. I think this has just been a rocky season, and whatever we can get out of it is a bonus. No, don't get me wrong, Ten Hag needs to be accountable for his mistakes this season, because he has made many mistakes, whether that be substitutions, whether that be maybe he could have handled the Jadon Sancho situation better. I think it's, he has made mistakes this season, but I think last season he showed that when he has a full squad, and it's easy to say this, he should be able to work with what he's got because he's got so many great talented players, and we've seen with Ten Hag that United's play well when they have a fully fit squad, but they seem to drop off quite a bit when they don't. I think with squad depth and bringing in his players, and hopefully the recruitment improving beyond just buying his ex-players, which we've seen quite a lot.
Yeah, let's just see what's happening in the Eredivisie. Let's pick up an Ajax player.
I think with that we can sort of move up and move on. I back. I don't want to sack another manager, because I think that just starts the whole cycle again. And I think Ten Hag has a wee bit about him. He's got a bit of fight about him. He's got a bit of Fergie in him. That way, he doesn't take any nonsense, as we've seen in the Sancho situation. Hopefully he can sort of mould that side into what he wants it to be.
The way it's looking, Ajax are actually 5th in the Eredivisie, so you're not going to be getting many good players next season, are you?
No, probably not, to be fair. No, I don't really want it, with all due respect to the Eredivisie, I don't really want to go shopping in there again.
What's happened to Malacia?
Malacia's been injured all season. This is the problem with United, and you can't really, it's like playing the world's smallest violin. You can't really complain too much, because you've got such a decent squad, and you should have the money to have. But this is what I always go on about with United. It's the infrastructure, and it's I hate to bang on about by the Glazers, because my mates honestly at home will be listening to this and they'll be like, oh, here he goes with the Glazers again. He tripped over the other day. He blamed on the Glazers and stuff like that. But I know, but the Glazers, it all harks back to them and the lack of infrastructure and culture in that club, and it comes from the top down. I do believe that with Ten Hag and with hopefully Sir Jim coming in and bringing some more people in, and some maybe instilling some better culture with those people that he's bringing in, that United can start to rise again, because we do have really talented players.
I was going to say, it's good to see this season a few young players come through. Mainu, Højlund, obviously he's a big money signing, but he's still very young. Garnacho.
It's been an absolute breath of fresh air. I think Garnacho's had a seriously underrated season. I could just talk about Man United all day long, really. As you know,
you've got to remember Garnacho, Højlund, they're still really young players.
Garnacho's 20 and he's basically been playing all season, and that's really tough for sort of a young player, especially in a struggling side. And I think he's took it on, and he just. What I love about Garnacho is just that he keeps going. He's relentless. He
didn't stop running against Liverpool, did he?
Exactly.
All 120 minutes.
He's a proper United winger, where he just keeps attacking his man and he works hard. And I think with him and Mainu has been an absolute breath of fresh air. We'll get on to him with the England squad later. But Kobe Mainu is seriously talented. I'm very excited to see him in the future. We might have to bring in a few more midfielders. I'm not sure about Casemiro, what's going on with him, but I think with Mainu and a couple others, there is talent in that squad. But anyway, that was our wee FA Cup roundup. Also, I could talk about Man United all day long, but unfortunately me and James have an assignment to do, so we should probably move on. Those two semi-finals predictions in terms of that, Man City, Chelsea. What do you see that going?
Chelsea have actually had a few good games in Man City this season, right? I think they've been close games.
Yeah.
Both draws, I think. So yeah, I mean, it could be close.
It could. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what it would seem on
I think
paper.
it's going to be a close game. I think it go either way. But I think I'm just about back City because again, Chelsea have shown in that League Cup final don't have the experience in these big matches, and I think that'll be the end of them in this game.
I think so, and I think with Man City struggling, well, not struggling, but in the Premier League, they're in a proper battle. They're in the Premier League title race. They will be focused.
Definitely not struggling, but they're in a fight.
They're in a fight, and like they're not usually in a fight, to be honest, in the Premier League. So I think they'll be switched on, and I think they will just about get the job done against Chelsea. But I wouldn't completely rule Chelsea out. I think they've got talent. Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling, even despite him, he was quite a wee bit shocking in that game. I think he got booed at one stage actually because just the amount of chances he missed. But yeah, I think Man City will just about get the job done. What about Coventry, Man United?
Will it be City v City, Coventry City v Man City?
I hope not.
I mean, I think I said last week there's always a shock, and that shock was Coventry last time.
Yeah.
But can it be them again? I think it could be. I think Coventry could. I mean, what they did good against Wolves was they just shoot in on side. They got loads of shots on goal, and I mean, obviously Wolves are a worse team than Man United. But if they do that again, the crowd they had at Molineux was very good as well. Think about bringing that to Wembley. I think it's going to be at least a tough game for Man United. What do you think?
So do you think?
If I had to make a prediction, my gut feeling says Coventry, but I mean.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be a tough game for Man United, but I think United are sort of well versed. Certainly, this Ten Hag side played at Wembley quite a bit recently, so I think they will they will have that nice to get over.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens either, but.
And hopefully we have Shaw and Martinez back at that time, and Højlund probably back up to fitness and stuff like that. So I think we will just about do it and just about get through to that final. So I think we could see a Manchester derby final again, which I'd be quite up for. To be fair, like listen, as long as we produce a good showing, and I'd love us to beat them. I was gutted last season, it really was, because that would have been the perfect end to that season.
Yeah.
I think that we can put one on City. I mean, we showed it in the past, and we even showed it at certain parts in that game at the Etihad that we can jabber with them, but yeah, I'd really love that.
I mean,
derby final.
If you get to 15 seconds in the final and you still 0-0,
that would be that would be ideal, to be fair. And that wasn't the greatest start last season. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was just like, oh.
Gundogan. It was a great goal.
It was a great goal, to be fair, but it was just awful defending. But anyway, so that was our FA Cup roundup, and we'll move on to our England squad. So, James, how are we going to play this? Are we going to?
I mean, I think if we just start with each kind of like goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, forwards, and then kind of choose who we're picking, and then the ones that have left out, kind of say why we've left them out.
Okay, so do you want to read out the goalkeepers then?
So yeah, these are the three that I've gone with. So 3 goalkeepers. I've gone with Pickford, Ramsdale, and Johnston.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've gone for Pickford, Ramsdale, and Pope.
Yeah. So my thing was with Pope. I think he's been injured, or he is injured right now.
He is injured, but I think he should be back by that time, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he might be back. He should be back, but I don't think he. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's the 3rd goalkeeper. I think. Are you agreeing with Ramsdale's the 2nd, or would you say Pope is the 2nd?
I would say Ramsdale's the 2nd, just purely because he's played more football recently. Even if he's 2nd choice at Arsenal now, and he's Arsenal, and I think we can all sort of agree that Jordan Pickford sort of still holds that number 1 spot somehow, even though we thought Ramsdale was a shoe-in to replace him. But I would put Pope in over Johnson. Who's Johnson playing for at the minute?
Palace. He's doing okay, I think. And the main reason is that Pope is dreadful with his feet. Yeah. And I think that's important in international football.
I wouldn't be I wouldn't be adverse to having Johnston in. I think he's even ahead of Henderson in the ranks of Crystal Palace, which is quite a thing because we thought Dean Henderson was going to come through it. United and then at Palace now. But yeah, no, I would just about put Pope in. I think he's got that. He's played in the Champions League this year. He's got a bit of sort of big game experience, and I think he can bring that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if Pope got it. But another people have been talking about that just missed out on the squad this time. Jack Butland playing for Rangers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he has been very good, and Rangers are sort of they're top of it.
Yeah, so a lot of people are talking about him being quite good. He's kind of had a bit of revival, but it's a bit late. It might be a bit late to bring in a new. I know he's been in the English setup before, but I think Southgate, in terms of what Southgate will do, I think this time he has picked Johnston, and I think he might go back to Pope, but I think he'll stick with Johnston, and Pickford will be number one, Ramsdale second choice, and Johnston third. That's what I think. Yeah,
well, I don't think they're second, but they've got a game in hand over. Sorry, I was just looking at the Scottish League. They are second, but they've got a game in hand with Celtic, who are 1 point ahead of them. But yeah, Butland has really come back into it. I think that move to Scotland's done him a world of good. But I do agree with. I think maybe just not.
Same thing happened with Joe Hart, didn't it? Going to Celtic.
Yeah, I mean it's hard.
Revive the older English goalkeeper who's been out there.
It seems to do that. Yeah, Fraser Foster he was fantastic at Celtic, and then he came back to Southampton. But yeah, I think that's our goalkeepers.
Pickford. If we're talking about who's going to start every game, Pickford surely. He's never let.
No, well, we can go for our starting 11s at the end, but I think that's sort of our goalkeepers as well. Agree to disagree on that third choice one. Defenders.
So how many defenders have you picked, overall?
I have picked. So we'll start by position. So right back, who have you gone for?
So Trent and Walker and Ben White, if you want to say he's a right back. I'll pick those three.
Walker. I've gone for a wee bit of a different flavour. I've gone for Reece James because I think when fit, he is the best all-round right back in England.
But that's the thing, when fit, isn't it?
When fit, that's the problem. But I think if you persevere with him for this tournament, the value he can add to the team.
Will he be fit?
Yeah. Well, I think this is why you bring Kyle Walker as well, because he'll always be fit, and then you have Reece James to bring in on occasion when you need that wee bit more sort of attacking noise, and that's set piece delivery. I think he can really provide that for England and give sort of a new dimension. And plus, I prefer. Trent is in my squad.
I literally says, where the hell is Trent?
Trent will be in my squad. Don't worry about that. But I think, Ben White's decent, but I think he's sort of ruled himself out, hasn't he? And
so I think should we talk about that, denying playing for your country?
That's a bit of a strange one for me in terms of, I think he would have had a good chance of making the Euro squad because he is sort of a versatile player. He played his trade at centre back first of all when he was back in Brighton, and then he sort of moved on as a right back at Arsenal. So I think that sort of depth of position, will serve him good. But he seems to have ruled himself out there, and to be honest, I just don't see him as as an out and out right back.
This is what I was kind of thinking of.
Actually, you know what? I'm maybe going to change my mind and put him in as a utility centre back.
This is what I think. When you've got a squad, you never know what can happen with injuries. You need people who can cover multiple positions. Like you saying with Trent, you put him in as midfield. Yeah. He can play midfield if we need it. But with Ben White as well, he can play centre back. He can play right back. I wouldn't start him in any of those positions, as we'll discuss in a minute. But I think he'd be a great one to have in the squad just because of where he can play. Same with Walker. If you want to play five at the back, he can play right centre back, can't he? Or even centre back if you need him to.
Yeah, in terms of centre backs.
So I've gone with Stones, Maguire, and Colwell.
Yes, Colwell. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. I've gone for Maguire, Stones, White, and Konsa. once it's been quite good for Villa.
So you're putting Ben White in now, yeah?
I'm putting Ben White. You've convinced me. You convinced me to change my mind. I originally had Fikayo Tomori in there because I think he provides a bit of that recovery pace that you're on about.
Yeah.
You maybe like with Stones and Maguire if you want to go for a back three. But I think Ben White, he does sort of cover those two positions, and he has decent pace about him as well. So that would be my 4 centre backs. So Colwell, you think?
Yeah, I think this was one of the tougher ones for me. It was always going to be Stones and Maguire, and then I thought Ben White, he can cover there as well, because I think you need probably 4 people who can play centre back.
Yeah, no Mark Gay.
Yeah, this was going to say. So I was thinking Gay, Braithwaite's in the squad this time, Dunk, Konza. Joe Gomez can play centre back or right back.
Utility player.
I just thought Colwell. I think he plays for Chelsea. He's good on the ball. He was good at Brighton last season. I think he's been a good player. But to be honest, I wouldn't mind Gay here, or maybe Tomori, or Konza. I don't think Dunk. I think he is good on the ball as well, isn't he? I mean, I don't think he's a
wee bit samey in terms of Harry Maguire. And he's
I think you need something slightly
big
different.
guy. Maybe a wee bit slower in the turn.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think for me it would have been between Colwell, Gomez, Konza, and Tomori. But Colwell's just the one I went for. I think he's the one who just slightly stood out for me. But I wouldn't be mad with any of them really.
No Max Kilman in there, no.
Did write him down as a potential option, but I mean he's so good, but he's never played for England before, has he, like those guys? So it's just not going to happen. So I didn't even think about it. Would I have him in that? I probably would. I think he probably is as good as Colwell, but he mainly plays in the back three. Yeah. That's the problem. He always plays in the back three. And
Wolves have always sort of done that. So
so Colwell can play in the back 3 and 4. So
yeah.
With him.
In terms of left backs, I've gone Chilwell and Shaw. I think you've done the same, haven't you?
Chilwell and Shaw.
It's a wee bit, it's a wee bit of a tricky one with Shaw because I feel like, Rico Lewis, is that an option as well? Do you think? Because Shaw, as much as I love Shaw, and trust me, I do love Luke Shaw, and I think when fit, he is the best. I guess it's a similar thing with Reece James. When fit, he is the best for left back, right back in the country. For both those guys. But I think the fitness is the big issue there. I think both of them start when fit.
I think Shaw's the more well-rounded player compared to Chilwell. I think he's done more for England. I think they're both good players. Both should go. I think Shaw should probably start. So
it's pretty open shot there. I think most people in the country probably agree with that. There's not really a great. Lamptey was coming through a couple of years ago, but he seems to have gone off the boil a wee bit, or the hype sort of died around.
Definitely.
Died down around him. In terms of midfielders, should we just?
Should we start with I've gone with...
I think we'll just say all 6 and then we'll sort of discuss them all as a pool of players. Yeah, I've gone for 6 and then 6 attackers as well. Because my sort of ideal formation is like a 4-3-3. So I've gone sort of for 2 per position. In terms of midfielders, I've gone for Declan Rice, obviously. I think he's just shooting. He's the only person that can... He's the only person with like real quality, like play that holding midfielder role, and he's an absolute key to that England side. He's got the experience now. So him, Kobe Mainoo, 18-year-old Man United player. James knows me and James are good friends, and he knows how much I love Kobe Mainoo. Like I wax lyrical about him all day long. The guy is such a player, and he's come from his first start at Man United in January. I seen the stat, first start for Man United in January to being called up for England a number of months later, and I think that just speaks everything that you need to say about Kobe Mainoo. He's just so calm on the ball. He plays like he's 26 years old and has been playing for Man United for 8 years. He plays like, I think Gary Neville said it, he plays like a Man City player, which is like the biggest compliment you could give a midfielder. And he does, he looks like someone that would come through at Man City academy. He's a shoe-in for
that's
me.
The main thing about him, I think. You can say all the stats here and there, maybe he might not have all the stats, but when you watch him play, he looks like he's 25.
He just
on
looks,
the ball.
And I think he's been the midfielder that England have been crying out for. I sent this in a message to you the other day. I think he he's the player that England have been looking for years now. You've always had Declan Rice, which we know is who we know is quality, but we don't have that other midfielder that's going to sit in beside him and give you that defensive solidity as well as giving you that attacking impetus and that sort of comfort on the ball. And I think Kobe Mainoo is that. We thought it was maybe Trent, but I think Kobe Mainoo is more natural midfielder. So I would even maybe consider starting him at the Euros because I think he's that good in that camp. We'll come on to that later, but yeah, so he's a shoe-in for that squad for me because I think he's one of the best box-to-box midfielders currently.
Yeah, so Rice, Mainoo,
Bellingham, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. What a player. One of the best midfielders in the world this year. James Maddison, he's took to Spurs like a duck to water. Unbelievable. Conor Gallagher, I think he provides a bit of a different midfield profile, maybe a bit more of a presser. Very energetic player. He's really stood up and has been counted alongside Cole Palmer for Chelsea this season. I think he's in there as well. And then I've gone for Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. I was sort of thinking who I was going to put as my sixth midfielder, and then I forgot that I had put Trent in at fullback, so I'd have to put him in at midfield. So I think you can put him either midfield or right back, but preferably midfield because he's sort of shown that he can play in that position for England.
Yeah, so I've got all the same people. I've got Mainoo, Bellingham, Gallagher, Maddison, Cole Palmer, and Rice. Yeah.
Cole Palmer is a midfielder.
I put him down as a midfielder. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you not say Palmer?
No, I am. But Palmer's in my attackers.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just put him down as a midfielder, but Palmer.
Yeah. So and then attackers, I've gone. Do you want to go first?
Well, should we talk about who maybe missed out on midfield and why?
Of course.
So I obviously Henderson. He looks like he'll probably go.
Yeah.
Southgate just loves the man.
Yeah, he said does, and I remember Roy Keane saying, we were chatting before the show, and we were saying, Roy Keane was given off a couple of years ago, I think, and this is even a couple of years ago now, that people wanted Henderson in the squad because he's good around the place. And then Roy Keane, his Irish accent, was just like, he's good around the place. What does he do? Balloon tricks? Does he make balloon animals? Or, all that sort of stuff. But despite the joking and the laughing and stuff like that, I think he genuinely is good around the place, and I wouldn't be like, as much as people hate him being in the squad because he's a wee bit more of a reserved choice, and he's maybe getting on a wee bit. I think he does bring that sort of that professionalism around the place. That's what people have been talking about. And what Southgate sees in him. He's definitely an honourable mention. He just hasn't made it for me.
I think he probably will go. I think if you look at that midfield, it's very, what I put anyway, it's very young. Mainoo, 18, Bellingham, 20, Gallagher young as well, Maddison, Palmer, Rice. If I'm thinking from Southgate's point of view, he's probably going to want to put an experienced player in there.
That's true.
But do you need an experienced player? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gallagher is... I suppose.
Well, I mean, you look at these. Age profile. Well, yes, these players are young, but you think of Bellingham. He's played at a World Cup already. Rice has played at a World Cup in the Euros. Maddison has played at. Yes, he did.
Exactly.
He did make the World Cup, so he did play a wee bit there, and in other places. But I think,
I wouldn't take him. I don't think it's that important. I think England need to move on from Jordan Henderson. I think that's the crux of it, really. Yeah, but I think he probably will go. I think what will happen is the thing is we haven't got many centre mid / CDMs, so Rice will obviously play and go. Bellingham is more attacking now. Gallagher, I think, will make it because of that, because he's the more can do both. And then I think because Southgate's more of a slight defensive manager, he'll probably take Henderson over Mainoo. That's what I think he'll probably do.
I think so.
But we'll see.
That would annoy me a wee bit. I can't lie.
But I think
because I think it would be a waste. But anyway, I sort of see where he's coming from all the same. James Ward-Prowse as well for the delivery. That's a bit of he'd be an honourable mention of mine. But
I think Gallagher just had more tackling, defensive ability, and then box to box. More athleticism,
Attackers,
yeah.
Oh wait, no, are you gonna?
I was just gonna say Calvin Phillips. not played enough.
He hasn't played enough, really, has he?
Mason Mount not played enough.
No. Again, he's sort of a little bit like Gallagher, with he would be that sort of energetic midfielder, but again, he's been injured most of the season.
Curtis Jones, Barkley. That's what I wrote down.
Barkley is actually, he's actually a decent shout, to be fair. He's been very good for Luton in this sort of struggling side, which they were always going to be. But I think there's just better options that have been around English sides. You've got to think about continuity, and I think Conor Gallagher and James Maddison have been around.
Captain of Chelsea as well, Gallagher.
They've been around.
That means.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is he?
Yeah.
He's captain of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well, I think just continuity of the England squad, players that have been there before, is also very important. Despite can just bringing in everyone on form, despite and that might be a reason why Kobe Mainoo doesn't make it. But yeah, I think Barkley maybe just misses out on this time. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Attackers.
Or Ross. Kane, Saka, Foden, Rashford, Watkins and Grealish I've gone for.
So Kane, Rashford, Watkins,
Saka, yeah, and Grealish and Foden.
Grealish. So Grealish makes it for you then?
Yeah.
Despite him being sort of a wee bit hot and cold this season. He doesn't make it for me,
Yeah, that was a tough one for me.
Yeah.
It was either Grealish or Bowen.
Because I've gone for all those midfielders, I haven't put Cole Palmer in the midfield.
Yeah.
So my two strikers are Ollie Watkins and Harry Kane. My four wingers would be Saka, Foden, Rashford and Palmer. So Grealish would miss out for me.
Yeah.
Which is, I know it's controversial, and I know he provides a bit different of a profile than those other players, but I think those four guys, I think Rashford gives you that raw pace that you don't get from the other four.
Yeah.
Like the raw pace,
Yeah, reason I went with Rashford as well, obviously Kane is going. You need a backup striker. For me, Watkins has been the second best English striker.
Well, I think it was between him and Tony, but Tony's only really come back in, and despite him coming back into form,
It has to be Watkins.
Watkins has to be in there, and he's been unbelievable, and he will provide that press in that sort of later stages of the game.
And then Rashford can play striker as well, whether you need him to. I think he'd be playing on the wing more, wouldn't he?
Yeah, ideally you wouldn't want him there. Do you want to explain the sort of Cole Palmer story? We were talking about him before, or when we were reviewing the Chelsea-Leicester game. Why is he in both our teams? Would you say?
I think he's just like you said about Mainoo, looks like a Man City player. He was a Man City player and looks like a Man City player. Like, he's just so calm on the ball, can score. I think he's been very good. It's hard to leave him out, isn't it?
I think when you're going for players that are on, you're going for a mix of players that have the experience and are on form, and I think to leave Cole Palmer out and put Jack Grealish in would be a bit of an oversight, in my opinion.
Well, I've got them both, so
Well, I think there's a lot to be said about a player playing well in a team that's struggling. That shows a real amount of character, and I think he has showed a lot of character this season and showed a real amount of quality as well. So he would be a shame for me. I don't know if he would start, mind, but I think he's a good player to bring off the bench. He provides a bit of that. He can pick a pass. He's a great dribbler, good finisher as well, and he's been very good this season.
I think with my team, maybe you could take out like Grealish or Palmer. I wouldn't want to take him out and put Henderson in if you wanted another midfielder in, but as I said, Trent can play midfield, Gallagher, Bellingham. I think you've got to have Palmer in there. You've got to have Saka, you've got to have Foden and Rashford, but maybe you could take out Grealish. The people who made it close for me were Bowen, Gordon. I was very close.
Gordon's been very good this season. He's took his game to another level.
And Sterling as well.
Sterling, not really for me, to be honest. I think his time with England, much like Henderson, is maybe over because he's got so many more players coming through that could maybe provide you a bit more, and I think it's just another one where you just sort of have to shake hands and go your separate ways. I think, as you say, Bowen would be a big one that you'd miss.
Yeah, I really wanted to put Bowen and Gordon in, but I just can't find a place for them really.
Ivan Toney?
No, not really, because to me it was just him versus Watkins, and Watkins was the choice. So I think it'd be, because Bowen can play through the middle, Gordon. If they were close, I think they'd just miss out. If there was like another injury, if there was an injury to any of these, Maddison, Cole Palmer, I think they'd make it in. They're the ones who just miss out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do we want to go on to our starting 11 maybe?
Yeah.
So how should we pitch this? So maybe
you do yours first, and then I'll do mine. Just do the full 11.
So let's think like final versus France. This is who you're gonna play. So goalkeeper,
strongest squad.
Pickford. Yeah. Right back. If it was against France and South Africa, I'd probably go Walker, and then Stones, Maguire, Shaw. Midfield, I'd go with Rice, Bellingham, and Mainu, or maybe Mainu, yeah, but maybe Gallagher. And then striker, Kane, right wing, Saka, left wing, Foden.
Yeah, I tend to agree with a lot of that. In terms of that midfield, though, which one are you going to go for, Mainu or Gallagher?
I'm going to say Mainu. Mainu, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to surprise you, but my side's effectively the same. Pickford in goal, as I say, Walker. I think Walker just gets in over Trent and gets in over James because he is so experienced in that right back role, and he provides that recovery pace that you miss with Maguire and Stones at centre back. Shaw in at left back, Maguire and Stones at centre back. Midfield. See, do I take my Man United hat off and stop getting so carried away with Kobe Mainoo, or do I just say, listen, the kid's been absolutely superb. He is the exact type of midfield profile in terms of his qualities that would contribute to that England midfield. It's all about the balance in that midfield, because I've seen people put in, let's go for Rice, Bellingham, and Foden, which in my mind is a wee bit silly, because
especially when you consider where Bellingham's played this season. Yeah. He's basically playing second striker.
And Foden doesn't even play in the attacking midfield role. He plays on either wing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a wee bit different from you. I am going to pick Rice. I am going to pick.
I think
I'm gonna go Gallagher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Gallagher because I think I need to calm down, and we haven't even seen Kobe Mainoo play for England yet. I think it would be a wee bit of a stretch to put him in just straight away. I'll put in Gallagher alongside him, and then Bellingham obviously in the 10.
Yeah.
And then a front three of Kane obviously up front. Then I'm gonna go a wee bit different from you, and this is gonna probably shock you quite a bit, but I'm gonna go Saka on the right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go Rashford on the left, because for me,
I don't think Rashford can get in over Foden.
No, but I don't think Foden's a left winger. I think he's more of a right winger.
I think he's played on the left though. He's played on the left.
I think he's. You know what? Actually, scratch Saka on the right. I'm gonna put Foden on the right, Rashford on the left. Because I think both Saka and Foden are best when they're on the right, and Rashford's best when he is on the left, and I think he provides you a bit of something different. It's hard for me to justify putting Marcus Rashford in over those other two, because the other two have had a better season than him, but I think he provides that raw pace, and he provides that balance of a player that's comfortable playing on the left. So it's a tough decision to leave out Bukayo Saka, and it seems almost preposterous for me to do that, but I'm going to do that, and Kane up front.
Yeah, I think your Gallagher shout, I think I've got to agree. I think it may be I think Mainu should go, but I think it's probably too early to start, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to see how he does. If he sets the tournament alight like Wayne Rooney in 2004, then by all means put him in there.
You really are getting carried away, Mainu now.
Well, I'm only going off what I've seen.
Yeah, I was thinking as well, if you played Gallagher and played Trent at right back, I think that would allow more Trent to come into midfield like he does for Liverpool, even when he's playing right back, because Gallagher could cover that a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think that probably is the more balanced option, even if Mainoo is the more exciting player. I think Gallagher can kind of do what Henderson did for Liverpool, like cover that position while Trent goes forward. But I'd want it to be Gallagher, not Henderson. And but with the Rashford thing, I think you've got to go with Saka, Foden, Kane, because I think Saka's just so consistent, and the thing about Rashford, he's good, but
he's inconsistent. He's inconsistent, and would he take away from that sort of? Well, it depends how England are going to play, because England aren't going to play like Man City or Arsenal play, where that suits Saka and Foden. They're probably going to play, like, I mean, it's Gareth Southgate we're talking about here. They're probably going to play a more sort of
defensive style,
pragmatic style, with you wanting to sort of play the ball in behind to Rashford and sort of let him. Hold on, is my mic? Oh wait, no, it's just gone. Sorry, I've lost myself a wee bit here. Oh no, that's me back. Sorry, my headphones were glitching a wee bit there. But anyway, I think it's going to go for a wee bit more of a pragmatic style, which might suit Rashford a wee bit more, because Rashford's sort of used to that this season, with us sort of being quite a good counter-attacking side. So that's why I would go in for me, and in terms of the balance as well. But I get your point. And it's not that Foden can't play on the left or Saka can't play on the left. It's just I don't think it's their best position. I think they would maybe be a wee bit unnatural on that side. Maybe. So that's what I would.
Well, I think both basically very similar squad, isn't it? Like very minor differences. How do you think England will fare at the Euros? Where from a Northern Irish, unbiased perspective?
I'm just going to look at their group here first. They have Germany in their group, don't they?
I don't think we do.
I think no, they have Denmark, Slovenia, and Serbia, which is a tough enough group, to be fair.
Should be getting through it though.
They should be getting through it, and I think they will. In terms of how the other sides look, we got like France who are always going to be strong. Germany sort of going through a bit of a recovery, sort of reset period, but it is a home tournament, but I don't think they're going to do anything. So I think it's France is your main worry. Spain have been coming, they've been improving. I think they'll be a big threat. But England, I don't see them winning it. I see France winning it because I think they just have the best squad.
I think the last few years, I mean, I know Italy won the Euros, but and it's international football, isn't it? Sometimes the pragmatic styles, it's a tournament, knockout style, anything can happen. I think regardless of like Italy winning the Euros, I think the best teams over the last probably 5 years in Europe have been France and England. If we're looking at how they're playing and their squad, they've got squad-wise definitely France and England have the best squads.
I'll make a prediction that they'll get to the final, but I don't think they're going to win it. I think France are going to win it.
So England, France in the final. Same, losing to France again, like
losing
we did in the quarterfinal.
I think so. I think they just have more nous when it gets to that stage of the tournament. And to be honest, Gareth Southgate, God love him. I do like Southgate. I think he's a good bloke. Like, I don't think he's quite the manager to win that tournament. That he doesn't think he has that nice, that Deschamps does.
I think if we don't win this tournament, he has to move on. Whether it's him stepping down or him getting fired, I think he will step down. From it.
I think a lot of people are sort of.
Like, thanks for the memory, Gareth. Thanks for the Trippier free kick. Thanks for the Luke Shaw for a goal in the first.
No, he's provided you with a lot of good moments. To be fair, and I think he gets branded with a rough viewing. But at the same time, like all those players you have, you could be playing much better football, and you could be like really putting it on teams and creating exciting moments.
This is the last chance, I think, for Southgate.
This is the last chance. I think he probably maybe will step down anyway even if he does win it, but we'll see, I suppose. I think they will just make the final but just miss out on the trophy. So that brings us on to our last segment of the show, which is I'm so I was from Northern Ireland, as you can tell by my accent, and James is Starbridge born and bred. So Starbridge boy, would you like to give me my Northern Ireland quiz? I'm quite impressed that he's come up with as many as 10 questions on Northern Ireland football, because we're quite a small country, only like 2 million people or so, and we're not doing so well at the minute for ourselves. But would you like to give me my questions?
So obviously last week we had Man United Wolves, so
I trounced you. I think it was something like 8-4, was it?
Yeah, so let's see how it goes this time. So, first question. Who is Northern Ireland's most capped footballer of all time? Most appearances?
Stephen Davis.
Correct.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. 1 point.
He broke it recently as well, just before he retired from international duty.
Yeah.
What a player he is. He's actually from the same area as me. He's from Ballymena. So that's
Wow.
from
Little
Bally.
shout out
Bally
to
is
Bally.
Bally. Shout out to Bally.
Okay. Second question. Who is Northern Ireland's all-time top goal scorer?
David Haley.
Correct. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you knew that, but
No, that's pretty easy.
Did you know
He's-
when did
he's,
he play?
He's out there on his own.
80s,
No, he was in 2000s. He actually scored the winner against England in a World Cup qualifier or Euros qualifier or something like that. You probably don't remember that, to be fair. That was quite a big moment in our history. So yeah, he was on 27 goals, is it?
I think it was
Something-
36. or
36,
something.
much as that? Yeah. No, I think he's out on his own, to be fair. But yeah, David Haley.
Anyone we should look out can catch him anytime soon?
No.
No. That's depressing.
We haven't had
Connor Bradley from right back.
Connor Bradley probably from right back. Yeah, well, we play him sort of right mid, so he probably would just chip in with a couple of goals.
Stick him on pens.
The last sort of prolific striker we had was Kyle Lafferty in the Euro 2016
That's laughable.
qualifying. Yeah.
Will
but-
Grigg?
No, he doesn't even score many goals.
He's on fire.
Apparently, but not for Northern Ireland.
Right, just for Wigan,
Just for
whoever he
Wigan,
played for. Okay, third question. How many World Cups have Northern Ireland played in? And which years? Which dates?
Well, we played in '82 against Spain. We beat Spain. Jerry. Oh my days! I don't know this is.
You're not using Google here, are we?
No. So 1982, Jerry. What's his second name? I should know. This is awful from me.
You don't need the scores, just need the...
No, I know, but we beat Spain, that was all that matters. 82, and I think is it just one? I feel like it's just one.
No.
How many?
Wrong, it's 3.
3?
58, 82 and 86.
See, I was going to say 86, but I wasn't quite sure if that
Made
was
2 on the
right.
bounce there, and
Two on the
I did
bounce.
find out as well, you didn't make any World Cup in the 60s and 70s when Best was playing.
Yeah.
So, George
Well,
Best never played at a World Cup.
No, that was quite disappointing, to be fair. Our greatest ever player.
Yeah, okay, so fourth question. Northern Ireland competed under the name of just Ireland from 1882, but which year did they play their first international as Northern Ireland? So,
Well, it would have been after the partition, wouldn't it? Which was 1921.
it says here 1950, that was your first game as Northern Ireland.
No, well, I wasn't going to give you my answer. Yeah. No, I was still in the thinking process. I was just looking for a clue. Was it after 1921?
What was your answer?
Okay, right. Well, that's
Half a
right.
point.
Well, I wasn't gonna guess
What were you
1952.
gonna guess?
I probably was gonna guess like something like 1932 or something
Okay,
like
fair.
that. But you know,
My bad. Right. Fifth question.
how many is that now? Is that 2
2 out of 4, yeah.
2 out of 4? Not bad.
What was Northern Ireland's biggest win? If you can name the score, then give you the point. If the team and the year, that would be better. But what do you think the score was? Maybe.
It's not going to be more than 4 now. 4-0.
5 now. So you get Cyprus in 1971.
Oh wow. That must have been a George Best game. Though.
Yeah. I'm sure you got at least 3.
Yeah.
Sixth question. Northern Ireland, I think we've already mentioned this. Northern Ireland played England in the 2006 World Cup qualifier at Windsor Park on 7th September 2005. What was the score?
2-1.
1-0, Northern Ireland.
Oh!
And David Healy was the
David
goal
Healy,
scorer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I should have got that.
Seventh question. Northern Ireland reached the round of 16 at the 2016 European Championship and played Wales. They lost the game 1-0. Who scored the goal?
It was a Gareth McCauley own goal.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 out of 7.
Yeah. Eighth question. How many caps did George Best earn for Northern Ireland? 27, 37 or 57?
I don't think it's as much as 57. I'm going to go 37.
Correct, yeah. Okay, ninth question. Northern Ireland play their home games at which stadium, and what is the capacity? Well, I'll give you a leniency of 2,000.
Windsor Park, obviously, I know that.
Yeah.
And 20,000.
18,500, so yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I thought it was going to be something around that, but I
Yeah.
thought I'd go 20,000 just to be safe.
Yeah. And final question. This is a hard one. I think I'll give you a leniency of, let's say 7. As of 15th of February 2024, what is Northern Ireland's current FIFA ranking?
As of what?
So as of February this year, what is their FIFA ranking?
I haven't played FIFA for a number of
No,
years.
not as in the game, as in just
Oh,
like
FIFA ranking,
yeah.
right? Sorry, I thought you were going for that. Never mind.
I'll give you a clue. It's not high.
It's not high, no. It's gone. Well, I think we peaked at like something like 26 or something like that, which is quite good for us actually. I'm gonna go something. Is it?
I'll give you a leniency of 7, like I said. Yeah. So if you get 7,
Is it below 40?
no,
No,
it's quite high. That was my
I
clue.
just wonder how far we've dropped. Really, 52,
No, 74.
74.
Yeah.
There can't be 73 better teams in the
Apparently
world
so.
than us.
Apparently so. Should we look at the?
Who's ahead of us?
I don't know.
Listen, don't get me wrong, Northern Ireland are really bad at football right now, but 74?
Let's have a look. Just double check that it is 74. That's what it said on Wikipedia. Yeah, you are 74 on FIFA's website as well. So you got just ahead of you. Iceland, Montenegro,
Fair.
Bosnia and Herzegovina,
Jordan.
UAE, North Macedonia,
See, I don't know what any of these teams are like, to be fair.
Ghana, Uzbekistan. I think Northern Ireland beat Uzbekistan.
Nah, well, to be fair, we've been absolutely shocking in recent years, so I can't really complain too much.
Yeah,
to be honest.
got Jamaica ahead of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't be right. No, I'd say we could probably beat some of those teams, but yeah, we'll see.
USA are 13th. Give them a go.
13th?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
USA would beat Northern Ireland then.
That's ridiculous. Yes, well, of course they would. They would beat us, absolutely. I think they did.
Germany is 16th. That's how far they've fallen.
They're behind the USA. What have the USA? I'm sorry, but what have the USA done to get the 13th ranking?
I suppose it's because they qualify for like every World Cup, don't they?
Yeah, but they do. But they don't even. They didn't even make it to the knockout stages the last term.
And they do well in like the Gold Cup.
No,
That's
I
how
think behind that.
These are the FIFA ranks, so it doesn't necessarily mean
anyone from the North American, like I don't think winning the North American Cup, whatever it's called, is it like just
Well, what do you think Wales are?
the Gold Cup? I don't think. Wales are 26th.
29th. I think it's a bit harsh. I mean, they got like Australia above them. And
Yeah, that's a bit harsh. But
yeah,
anyway,
onto my question.
so that was 5 out of 10, wasn't
Let's
it?
just double check.
50% for me.
Yeah, 5.
Which
yeah.
isn't terrible because Northern
think-
Ireland's quite a niche subject, even
Yeah.
though it is my country.
Yeah, I think some of the questions were quite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but it was hard to find questions.
we'll
for.
move on to your quiz now.
Okay.
How many goals? Oh, that's wrong. Hold on. How many goals does Harry Kane have for England? They're
Right.
England's top goal scorer.
Yeah, so I know it's over 50. Is there a leniency here, or
There's a leniency of 3.
okay? I'm gonna go 50. No, could be more. Could be 60. I'm gonna go 60.
I'll give you that. It's 62.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when he passed. Yeah, he passed
Yeah,
Rooney,
he's
but that
actually
was a
that
while. I
surprised.
remember
It
that was a
surprised
while
me
ago.
as much as he has, because I thought it would be like 55 or 56 or something like that. But
Yeah.
I suppose he did pass Rooney a wee while ago. Most capped player for England ever.
I'm thinking Beckham, but I'm thinking Beckham, Rooney, Shilton, maybe Peter Shilton. I don't know. He's got a lot of cap. I go with him, Peter Shilton.
It is Peter
Is it?
Shilton.
Oh.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Who scored England's first goal of the 2022 World Cup?
Ooh. Who do we play? Who do we play?
Iran. He played Iran.
Ooh, I'm going to go Saka.
Incorrect. It was Starbridge born and bred Jude Bellingham. A header.
Should know that, yeah.
What two players were England's two top goal scorers for that World Cup? There's two players that finished on 3 goals each.
Kane and Rashford.
You got one of them right, but I can't give you it because you didn't get both of them right. Saka and Rashford.
Oh, Kane clearly didn't do well then, did he?
No.
Yeah, I knew one of them was Rashford because I remember he scored 2 goals against Wales, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Who has scored more goals for England? Marcus Rashford or Raheem Sterling?
Sterling. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Who scored England's first goal in that famous 2001 qualifier against Greece where David Beckham scored a last minute free kick? Who scored England's first goal that day?
Ooh, what year was it?
2001.
Michael Owen?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
Oh.
It was Teddy Sheringham. Okay, now to everybody's favourite pundit. How many caps does Gary Neville have for England? I'll give you a leniency of 3 again.
So, how many did Peter Shilton had? Did he have?
Peter Shilton had 125.
Okay, so he had a long career, but did he have a long England career? I'm not sure. Gary Neville, he had a decent. No, I'm gonna go 64.
You're quite a wee bit off. It's
Really?
85.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he's got quite a lot of it.
Yeah, he
fair.
does. Who scored a hat-trick for England in their 1966 World Cup final win?
So Jeff Hurst. Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
That takes you on to 4 out of 8.
Okay.
So
One to the
doesn't
for
it?
you.
Doesn't it? It takes you on to, so let's see. You got that one right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 out of 8. So 2 more to beat. You have to get these last 2 to beat me now. What player did Wayne Rooney stand on to be sent off in the 2006 World Cup quarter-final against Portugal?
I was going to say Ronaldo, but it wasn't Ronaldo, was it?
It was Ronaldo that winged.
Yeah, it was Ronaldo at wing. I don't think. For some reason, I'm thinking this might be Wolves' bias. I'm thinking João Moutinho, but I don't think it is him. It's just thinking in my head. Was it Rui Costa?
It started with an R, but it was Ricardo Carvalho.
The centre back, is that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, final question. I'm not sure if you're going to get this one either. It's quite a bit of a niche one. Who scored? I remember watching this game at my grand's house because Northern Ireland weren't there. Who scored England's goal to beat Slovenia in the World Cup group game in 2010? 2010 World Cup. This is one of the only goals who scored this tournament.
I'm thinking. Yeah, this was a pretty dead game. I can remember. I'm thinking Defoe or Crouch for some reason. They're coming out to me, or Gerrard maybe. But I think he might have scored in the game against USA.
He did.
Yeah. Who did Defoe?
That is correct.
Oh.
That is correct. Yeah. So that leaves us at 5. That leaves us at 5 apiece. So
that's a last minute winner. That Defoe.
That is last minute equaliser anyway. So that leaves us
level. Is there a tiebreak question?
There's a tiebreaker. Yeah. I think tiebreaker could just. What should a tiebreaker be? On the same topic.
Yeah, but maybe that's. I'm trying to think.
You could just do, just as a suggestion, some Euro 2016 stuff maybe.
Okay.
Some facts about it.
Yeah.
I've got my question actually. I know what it is.
About England?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just find.
It's quite easy for me because obviously I know a lot about England. I don't know so much about Northern Ireland actually, unless you're from Starbridge.
Well, ask me the question first, and then
Okay.
is it like a new?
It's the Euro 2016.
Okay.
Who scored England's first goal against Wales in the England-Wales group game?
Vardy.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna have to find a question now. Okay, I've got a good idea. Might be a slightly harder question, but it's not. Does it have to be from Euro 2016?
No, it doesn't have to be. No, it's
Okay,
just a suggestion.
How many goals? I'm going to give you a leniency of 3. How many goals did George Best score for Northern Ireland? So he played 37 games.
37 games. I don't think he scored that many. I'm gonna go 12.
9. So
yeah, there we go.
Should we just call it a draw?
No. We're going to find a winner here in the Outside the Box podcast. I've got to think of another one. Let's see. Okay, I could probably just think of these off the top of my head. My football memory is pretty good. I'm gonna go for.
Right. Yeah, I found.
Who scored England's first or second? Who scored England's first goal in their World Cup round of 16 in 2010 against Germany?
Their second goal.
Their first goal in the
First goal.
Sure, they had that one ruled out from Frank Lampard. This should have been one of my main quiz because it's actually quite a good question. It's quite a niche sort of.
I think I know who it is. It's a defender. Is it Matthew Upson?
It is Matthew Upson. Fair play.
Okay.
Header, I believe.
Who scored? This is a group game, Euro 2016. Who scored Northern Ireland's goals against Ukraine?
Gareth Macaulay and Niall McGinn. I remember because it's the only 2 goals we scored that tournament.
We're just too good at this. We're too good at knowledge.
Too good at this.
I think we made it.
So England scored a penalty against Iceland in the round of 16 when you got knocked out by Iceland.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney scored the penalty.
Yeah.
Who won the penalty though?
Dele Alli.
Incorrect. I believe it was Raheem Sterling. Nearly certain it was. In fact, I'm just going to fact check that whilst you come up with your question. England, Iceland. I'm nearly certain it was Raheem Sterling. Sorry, it's just the research that we have to do right in the middle of the podcast.
Well, I'll ask you on why you're doing that. Who scored? Northern Ireland lost to Germany in the group, the same group. Who scored the goal for Germany?
Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I know who it is. Mario Gomez.
Yeah, that's correct.
There we go.
So it all
lies on this.
Who won this penalty?
So we're just gonna. Sorry, I hope we don't get a copyright strike here. But I'm gonna show James
the highlights.
I'm gonna show you the highlight. There we go. Well, Adam Gaston wins the Northern Ireland England
After
quiz.
about 5 tiebreakers.
After a couple of tiebreakers, but we persevered and we got there in the end. James, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
For providing your that lovely Starbridge voice and that expert football opinion that you always do. This has been episode 2 of the Outside the Box podcast. A few technical difficulties this week, but we've managed to sort out the podcast suite. So you'll now be hearing our voices on lovely high resolution mics, and who wouldn't want to listen to our lovely accents? But anyway, that's been us on episode 2 of the Outside the Box podcast. You'll see us right after Easter. What's our next? That will be
mid-April, yeah.
Mid-April, we'll be back, but in the meantime,
plenty to talk about then,
we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll hopefully have a FA Cup. We'll have an FA Cup semi-final to preview by then. That'll be that time, and hopefully a couple of Man United and Wolves wins to boot. But thanks very much for listening, and we will see you very soon.